So the next thing I want to show you is ActiveCampaign and how you can set up from scratch a new list. That's very important. That's what you need to collect all your leads. That's the database. You're going to work with your contacts. You talk and communicate with that system, and you also build a funnel inside of ActiveCampaign. So that's your email automation marketing system. So I was just logging into my ActiveCampaign, and you see on the left side, like you have contacts, you have campaigns, you have automations, lists, forms, and so on. And when you click on lists, you see I have two other lists here. I just did here a demo and merged or loaded some other data into that account. But anyways, I want to show you from scratch how you actually get started. So the name of this specific list is of course papas.marketing, and yeah, guess what? The the website address is of course also https papas.marketing, and then remind your contacts why they're on this list, because you want to build your own home business. That's why you're on this list, right? So, and I create this list. Then you see papas.marketing is going to be the list that if somebody signs up, right, on your web page, or he is interested in what you are doing and he wants to learn the same, then you want to make sure that he is ending up and he's basically collected inside of this list. Right now you can't see anything, and that's how it usually is. The question is, how do you actually get someone into your list? So this is the most important thing, right? And this works through a form. When you go on a website, you see always like a form where people sign up with their cell phone number, their name, and their email. And a form is nothing else. I'll show you here now on the home business. And yes, that's the site I just created also. And I'm using for this demonstration here as well. And I go with this live then. But this is papas.marketing, and when you click on it, then you see this is a form. So this is basically where you say, hey, great choice, let's start building your own business. And then you say, like, enter your first name, your email, and let's get started. And once he clicks that, right, then something should happen, of course. What should happen? He should connect with your email automation system. That means his name, email, and cell phone number is linked or is ending up in the database of your email automation system, okay? So in order to create a form, this is how you speak from the web platform to the email automation system. You need to create that form as well, that this exists, so that the system knows, hey, once you entered your name and your email, boom, it's going to be translated over to that specific form, right? So this is why you have here in this email automation from ActiveCampaign also the so-called form fields. And here you can, so to speak, like, duplicate existing forms, create a new one, and so on, right? So for this demo, I just create a new one, and I call it papas.marketing, right? And we can say it's an inline form. It really doesn't matter. And what really matters is, of course, subscribe to list. So as you can see here, it's very important that you choose now the list what we created first, because first you create a list where all your contacts will be saved or going to, and then later on you create here this form, right? So you create papas.marketing, a new form is created, and then you see here already, hey, it says, you know what, the name, the email, and maybe you want to have something else. And of course we want to, because there are standard form fields already you can choose from. So I select basically phone, because that's very important for me. And I usually do it this way. The highest priority I always want to have is the phone first, then comes the email, and then comes the name. In this particular case, for example, I just call it like first name. I don't really want to have the full name, and the rest is basically speaks for itself. There's nothing more to do, right? Important is that you also see here required fields. So that means I really want to make sure that people have this field here that it's checked like required. So without entering this, right, without sending this required field, I do not allow to continue or to send this data to my list, right? So as you can see, this is all checked. Email is always required, and the other ones you also want to check that and make sure you have it. Then the next step is integrate. And you also can see from the interface, it goes from left to right in this particular case. And then you see you have now options to integrate this either through HTML, which is this whole code here. So if you would put that code on your web page, then it would be integrated. You can, of course, also here go with links and how to integrate it on your Facebook page and so on. But what you can clearly see is this would be the HTML code you would copy and paste on your website. And if you do that, we can actually do this right now and show you live. Then you have here in Thrive, for example, I just show you on this page here in an HTML field how it looks like if I would put this code in here, boom, and click save, and then you see the form is here, right? So you can, of course, you have options to manipulate that form and design that form. You can, as you can see here in the form creator of ActiveCampaign, you can, so to speak, also design it. You can change it with different colors. You can make the font color red or pink, and you can do all kinds of crazy design things. But I just focus really hardcore more on the technical things and on the things that gets you forward, because it really doesn't matter if you have now a green font, a blue font, or whatever for this particular training. You need to understand you can play with the design elements by yourself, but what's more important is like how to connect the dots. So this is super, super important for you, right? Now, here comes the thing, right? When I'm using usually Thrive, I do not go with an HTML code. I do not do that. And the reason why is because Thrive, is already built as a really great tool to connect your website with a so-called API with any other email marketing automation system. So that means you can also connect now Thrive, the form fields or whatever, with so to speak, ActiveCampaign, right? And how you do that, I also want to show you in a minute, but I just wanted to make sure that you really understand this whole concept here. So you see, this is basically the page what we just created, and then somebody clicks on it and the form field pops up. And behind the curtain of this form field is then ActiveCampaign and all the data goes through, right? And last but not least, I also wanted to show you here, of course, also in the settings, that you understand what the lightbox is from Thrive, that you see like this is not a form, this is a button, and once you push or click this button, you see like a light box is coming, right? And that's usually really cool because the full attention is to this form. Everything is fading out and the attention is just here, that your contact is really focusing on it and just puts in your name, his name, email, and cell phone number. And how to do this and how to find that is very simple, and I also wanted to show you. So you have here a button, right? And when this button on the left side is active, you can see you scroll down to animation and action. And when you see that here in the action, you see that you have the action selected that you want to open a Thrive lightbox. And you can access this lightbox. So basically, you can see then here under Thrive lightboxes, you can access all your lightboxes in WordPress from this menu here. And then you can see, oh, wait a minute, this is my lightbox pencil, the personal branding and so on, and I want to just change it, right? Then you click on it, you click on launching Thrive again, and then you have here this form field. And the crazy stuff now is that you have here a lead generation panel, which you can also pull in Thrive Architect here from the main column. You can see it here, lead generation, and I can drop in a second one. And then you see like this is the standard lead generation form. And now you have the possibility to say like, I want to connect that form to my email automation system, either through an API or through my HTML connection. So you could even pick here the HTML. You would type in the HTML code, which I still had in my form field before. So like copy it from here, right? So this is the whole copy and paste. And then you have now here the features and the options to basically change the design of each of those columns and elements, and you can also move them around, and you can say like, hey, the email, I don't want to have that in the center, I want to have it on the bottom, and so on, right? It's really up to you, and you can change the text, you can change the font type, you can change the color from the button, and so on. So this is all what you can do here. And once you change the design, you can click done and you're fine. So that basically means if you save this already right now, look at this, what's happening now. I go back to our page and I click it, or I have to refresh, of course. Sorry about that it's being loaded, the script. And now boom, you see what we just added is another form field below the first one. But believe it or not, this form field is now already connected with the active campaign, right? So this is how it rolls. But the second thing I wanted to show you is what if you, let's go back here to this, I have it open. If you don't want to use HTML code, right? What if you decide, hey, in my form field, I want to connect actually with my API integration. And I also would like to show you that. So you click on API and then you go through this process, choose an already created API or create a new one. Since we don't have one yet, we can't pick one or choose one, you have to create a new one, right? So you click on it, and then you see it basically redirects you back to your Thrive dashboard and the API connections. And in here, you basically say add a new one. And you see already there is ActiveCampaign, Aweber, ConvertKit, Drip, all the other ones, MailChimp, and so on, whatever you are going to use. But keep in mind, I have a big reason why I'm going with ActiveCampaign. I was using Aweber before, I was using ConvertKit, Drip, GetResponse I was testing, Infusionsoft I was testing, MailChimp, of course, and so on. And after all the years, I figured out that ActiveCampaign is just for that purpose the best in terms of what you can do and the pricing and all the options what you have. It's just the best in my opinion from all other things you can do. So and here is now where you have to enter your API URL and the API key. So that means you have to go into your settings of your ActiveCampaign user interface. And somewhere here, I think it's under developer. Yes, I still can remember. You see now the URL. Okay, so this is from this particular account, that URL, and I have to copy that. Okay, and then I bring in here the URL. So this is how you do it. And then I have to copy my key, right? And copy this and bring in the key. Boom, right? That's about it. Now I click connect, and as you can see, Thrive is now connecting in the background with ActiveCampaign. And so to speak, the software is working with each other. And here you see now the connection didn't work. Error message, could not connect to ActiveCampaign using the provided response, was failed. Okay, so you see it can happen, and it's good that you see this. This is because it's live what I'm doing. And I mean, all I can do right now is like trying it again and then figure out what's going on, why it is not working. But anyways, usually I don't have any connection issues at all. And it works actually pretty nice and quick and simple. And you see it now, it was eating it. So for some reason, there was like a little hiccup before. But you see now ActiveCampaign is here. And now when you're in ActiveCampaign, it's asking you, hey, choose your mailing list. So if somebody is putting or entering data into this form, where should this data go to? And as you know now from before, we created just papas.marketing. That's the list, right? And also here, choose the form you want to use. I already created my form, and that's very important that you pick the correct one, because those specific fields, forms, form fields, they contain data that is going to push over. So you need to make sure that you really select that. And then you see step 1, we connected. Step 2, set the connection details. We selected the list, and we selected now also, what form we want to use. And then we say continue. And then you see also add new fields. I want to add my name, and also I want to add the phone, right? And I can check here again. I want to have this required, and I want to have this required. And I click next. And now I can basically say, what should happen if somebody was sending this form through your website. And you can say now redirect the person or the new contact to a custom URL, to, let's say, like a thank you page, or you can say just like show success notification, right? So what I do is here, I say basically thank you. Oh, and this is a page where we have to create then here, but I will do this later on, and I show this also live. But all we do is basically say like here, thanks, thank you, thank you for signing up, or thanks for the sign up. Okay. Let's keep it easy, just like thanks. So the URL structure is very easy. So now that means if I save this, right? If I would save this and somebody would sign up here, the data is going to push over into our list, and the contact will be seen in our new contact data form here, okay? So at this point, I don't want to stretch this out too much, but we will continue, of course, like in the show you then how we do this. We play this through with with the test email, what I created here, to see like, okay, what's going to happen, how does it work, and how can you use this on your own web page. Okay, so far so good. See you in my next video.